Hello students, and welcome to the tutorial video for building the puzzle cube out of your 6 pieces as an assembly. Now in order to do that, you should have already created all 6 of these individual pieces. You should have saved and named them with their letters so that they would be easy to find. And then I've added a document here with the solution. Now the document itself looks a little overwhelming, but it's the same cube, simply viewed from 6 different angles, the 6 different sides. The pink piece is the piece that we made out of white plastic cubes. I didn't have any pink plastic cubes, so we replaced the pink cubes, or the pink piece here, with a white side for our puzzle cube. So the main thing is we need 6 different pieces, 6 different parts, and then we're going to learn how to use constraints, assembly constraints, to bring those parts together so that they form the cube. And as long as everything was created the right shape and the right size, everything should line up real nicely. So let's look at how we do this. We're going to go to Inventor, and I've already launched it. But if you do launch it and it says activate, then just click on the activate now button, just like you have before. Now we've already created our parts, so we're going to create an assembly. This time the screen is still basically the same, only now we're going to place components or parts. And if I scroll down, I will find there's part A and part B. I can place those components. And by placing, it simply means click somewhere on the screen. And if you can zoom out, you can. And I only need 1 of these. If you wanted, you could create extras, but there's no reason to. So we only need 1 part A. So I right click and choose OK. Then I'm going to place, and I can just, because I named these all the same thing, I can just put part B there. There's A, there's B. I'm going to right click and say OK. Now this will be part C, and I only need 1 of each, so I'm just right clicking and saying OK. So A, B, C. Now I need D, and by the way, this goes a lot easier if you know where you saved them. If you don't know where you saved them, then you'll have to look up here and you'll have to find them. This is E. And please understand, it doesn't really matter at all where you place these on the screen, as long as you have all 6 parts on the screen. So there we have all 6 parts. Now I'm going to start with the yellow part. I'm going to go remind myself of how it's positioned and how the different parts orient with it. So we have the red and the pink, which is our white one, remember, and then there's green down here, and we'll figure out the rest as we go. But I'm going to start by kind of rotating my yellow piece to where it kind of looks like this. It'll help me put it all together. So I'm going to go back here, and if I choose my yellow piece, there's a tool up here called Free Rotate. And I can just roll this over and kind of tumble it over until it looks something like it did in the solution. Okay? Right click and say OK to exit the Free Rotate tool. Now, we said that pink was white. I'm going to move the green one. I can just click and drag and move that out of the way. Move those out of the way. Because we're just going to do the white and our yellow for now. Remember, the white one is our pink piece. So let's go back and look at our solution. The pink piece, if we look at how it's oriented, it kind of has this hook shape down at the bottom of the yellow piece. So let's go back and look at that. So I'm going to use my Free Rotate to kind of tumble this over. Takes some getting used to, but you kind of tumble it around until it's approximately in the right orientation. Now what we can do is we're going to use what are called assembly constraints. You can see right here these constraints, and what it'll do when I click on it, it'll pop up a little window, and you have some choices here. Now we're going to be using, for the puzzle cube, we're going to be using what's called a mate constraint. That means we're going to line things up either face to face, like this one, or we're going to make them flush, where the 2 faces are flush together. So let me show you how that looks. And this is going to be a little tricky, but I'm going to help you walk through it. We're going to start by making this surface, this little top piece right here, mate face to face with the bottom of the one right here that you can't see unless we tumble this over. So there's going to be a lot of kind of rolling the screen over in order to line these up. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to click mate face to face, and I'm going to click on this surface, and then I have to tumble this over. It's just a click and drag, and then a right click, and I'm going to choose this face. And see how it put those together? And then I can apply that. Now, it may look a little weird right now because it's going to take, I want you to think about this, it's going to take 3 constraints to make this line up. The next one is going to be a flush. We're going to change this from face to face to flush. And I'm going to choose this surface and this surface. See how it did that? And I can apply that. And then lastly, the third one is also a flush, this surface and this surface, and apply that. We can even cancel out now because that is done. Okay, see how those match up perfectly? Okay, so we can zoom back out so where we can see everything. A lot of positioning and dragging of the screen, students. Just move things around. So let's go back and look at our solution. On top, we have this red piece that kind of nestles in there with the yellow. So let's get the red piece and let's put it roughly in that same orientation. So here's the red piece, and I'm going to use my free rotate, and I'm going to kind of tumble it around, and I may even have to kind of flip it over a little bit. I need to look again. Okay, I think I'm close. That looks pretty close. Okay, and we do have a free move tool, which will let me kind of put it down here close. Now don't be too confused. When you're looking at things three-dimensionally, sometimes it helps to tumble it around and kind of see where everything really is. But they're pretty close, and that's good. Close is good. So now I can use those same mate constraints, and I'm going to make flush. Let's start with flush. This surface here with the bottom of this surface, like that, and apply. Now you're like, but Mr. Crone, but see, look, they are flush. It's just not in the right place this direction yet. So how are we going to do that? Well, let's look. We can do, I'm going to kind of put this over here like that maybe. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and do a face-to-face of this face, and think about it for a minute before I give you which one. It's going to be face-to-face with, if you thought this one over here, then you thought right. And then apply that. So now if we tumble it around, you'll see it's lined up that way. Those two things. The only thing left now, because remember they all take 3, you have to have 3 constraints, is we need to flush this surface and this surface. And then apply that. Okay, zoom out, take a look at it. Everything's looking dandy, looking just great. Let's go back and see what's next. Okay, on the other side is the blue. So let's kind of think about that for a minute. Let's look at the blue. I'm going to kind of tumble my screen around a little bit. And I don't like where these are now, so I'm just going to drag them out of the way, except for the blue one. And I'm going to go back and see how it should be flipped around. And then we're going to make ours match that using the free rotate. Ooh, that's close, isn't it? There we go. I think that's even closer. No. Hang on, I'm going to have to go look again. Okay, so okay. Okay. Alright, let's go try that now. Okay. So it's really close to like that. And then I'm just going to move it closer. Yeah, I can use free move to just move it closer. And if you wanted, you could rotate it a little bit more if you were trying to get it really close. But sometimes it's easier just to use those constraints and let those constraints put it in place. So here we go. Now we've got a lot of choices on this one, but we still need 3. We have to have 3. So let's start by kind of just straightening it up. I'm going to use constrain, and I'm going to do flush, and I want to do the top surface and this top surface. Okay, now you're like, wait a second. And I'm like, hold on. See, if you look, it did line them up. It just did it really far out. Okay, so don't let that fool you. We'll go ahead and apply that. Now let's flush this surface with this one. That should help bring it back kind of into place where we can see it a little bit better. Okay, see, believe it or not, see how it's matching up? It's matching up, it's just too far out. So we can actually do this one with 3 flushes. We can do another flush, this surface with this surface. See how we did that? See how that's all put together now? Alright. I know it's a little, takes some getting used to, students, so don't get flustered. If it helps you to start over and try again, sometimes that's not a bad thing. Don't let it get to you. Just keep trying. Alright, so let's look. What goes under? What goes down here at the bottom of the yellow piece? What goes down there? And remember, we've got these 2 pieces left. So just down here underneath the yellow, let's see what's under the yellow. Okay, that's going to be our green. So if I get my cube to where it's turned and looks kind of like this, then I should be able to, by the way, you can select all of these and do a free rotate. Oh no, you can't. Ooh, don't do that, kids. Wow, don't, that's what undo's for. Okay, ooh, Mr. Crump almost messed up. Don't do that. Alright, so we're going to position this just using our view control so that we are in this kind of orientation. Now I'm going to bring the green one down here and remind myself, okay, it should look like that. Kind of like a, I don't know, like a dog looking to the left. Okay, so we're going to pick that part, we're going to free rotate until it looks like a dog looking to the left. There we go. That's pretty close. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Okay. So there we have it. And I'm not real sure how close we are to everything. Let's kind of take a look here. See, it's way back there at the back, but that's all right. That just means that I want to start with doing a flush. So I go get constrain, new mate, that one, mate. And then face to face, this surface with the bottom of the yellow piece here. Boop. So now if I double check, see, it did it. It did it. And then we can apply that. And then we'll do another flush with the top of the yellow and the top of this. Okay, good. Apply. And then the last one, flush this surface with this one. Check it out. Apply. Look at that. We've almost got this puzzle cube built. All that's left now is our purple piece. And it has to go somewhere under here, doesn't it? Now we could go look at the solution, but we might be able to figure it out just by studying it a little bit. Kind of get this turned. Okay, there we go. That's a nice view right there. And I messed it up. There we go, right there. Okay. By the way, escape on the keyboard will bail you out of that, and so does right clicking. So here we got, I'm going to do free rotate, and it really just kind of needs to be kind of flipped over like that. That's pretty close right there. So let's think about that. That means that I need to flush. So constrain, mate, flush. This surface, this little surface right here with the white piece right here. Okay. And if we want to study that and kind of look at it and say, oh, yeah, I guess it did it. And then we know we need to flush the top of this with any of these. It doesn't really matter, just as long as we get the top. Like that. And then we can apply that. So if we flip this around and study it, we can see, yep, everything's looking good except for the distance this way. Now, interestingly, when you only have 2 constraints, you can still drag this around. Check this out. If I click and move it, I can drag it around, but I can only move it on that single axis, because the other directions, I can't move it the other directions because it's been constrained to where it has to stay flush with those 2 surfaces. So that's an interesting thing. Now watch this. I'm going to go ahead and do flush, and I think the easiest thing is probably this little square and this big old green piece. So watch this. So constrain, flush, big old green piece, and this little surface. And apply that, and there is our completed puzzle cube. You can use the free orbit tool to tumble it around and study it. If you hold down shift, this is a fun little trick, hold down shift, it'll spin all by itself. Kind of fun. And that's it, students. I know I went fast, and you may have to back this up and watch parts of that again. But that's it. That's all there is to it. I haven't decided how we're going to turn this one in yet, so just make sure you save it. Go up to the save button, and we'll call this Puzzle Cube. I know I've done this before, but that's why it said that. So we'll say Puzzle Cube and say save, and there you have it. Well, how about that? Okay, so I'm done. We're going to save. We've already saved. I need to just say thank you for watching. Good luck as you try it on your own, and I'll be around to help. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.